All right, well, let's get going. You all have 6.5 hours worth of advanced Excel. So we're going to start out with 2 hours. We're going to break for a little bit for lunch and do a working lunch with Rosalind Davis, and we're going to come back for 4.5 hours and finish it up. So in thinking about how we wanted to do advanced Excel, we figured that maybe the best way to do that is to sort of team teach it. So I'm going to introduce you to 3 of our PhD students who are going to walk through advanced Excel. So let me just read their bios. Jinjing Wang, second-year PhD student in risk management and insurance. She's originally from China. Received her Master of Arts degree from North Carolina State, bachelor's degree in risk management and insurance from Beijing Technology and Beijing and Business University in China. And as a senior student at Beijing Technology and Business University, she worked as an intern in American International Insurance Company, Beijing branch in China. So she'll be helping the team teach. Help me with the first name.
First name is Xiaohu.
Xiaohu. Second-year PhD student, Department of Risk Management and Insurance, Georgia State. Current research interest is catastrophe bonds, or cat bonds, and pricing model in the reinsurance market. Received his master's degree in concentration in finance from Peking University. Also holds a bachelor's degree in economics from Peking University. He's actually going to start it off. Sampan Nethayana?
Yes.
Okay, making sure I got that one right. He's third-year PhD. Current research interest lies in the areas of empirical study in the insurance industry. Received his undergraduate degree with triple majors, math, stats, economics from Carnegie Mellon, with a university honor and a college honor. He earned his master's degree from Northwestern University and Cornell in the area of operations research and financial engineering. Had internships and projects affiliated in both public and private sectors, which include the Office of the Prime Minister of Thailand, Bank of Thailand, Deutsche Bank, Nissan Motor, and Renrate Renaissance Insurance. So with that, our team teachers.
Hi everyone. I'm going to help you go through the first part of the Excel applications in statistics. Okay. How many of you have learned statistics before? Please. Okay. Okay. How many of you have used Excel before? Okay, almost all of you. Okay, that's good. There are 3 parts I'm going to go through. The first part is about the descriptive statistics. The second part is the statistical inference. The third part is about the distributions. Okay, for the first part, I'm going to introduce an example. This example is a very simple example. It's about an insurance company wants to analyze the 30 claims of life insurance in the last year. The insurance have the data of death age. So what are we going to get the information from the death age? Okay, let's see the data. Okay. This is the 30 death ages we can see. And the first thing is we are going to give a basic description of the data. We are going to count the number of the data, the sum, the mean, the median, mode, maximum, minimum, variance, standard deviation. So, how to do that? I think most of you can already know how to do this. It's just put in input the cell with equals to count the data, and then enter. You can get the number of the count. Others are similar to that. I'll show you. This is equals to count. Frank? What?
You could name that data set with certain names, so you could just type in the name instead of just dragging it down all the time.
I'm sorry?
If you highlight 77 to the data age, if you drag that down
Yeah.
to all the way to the bottom, sorry, without the def age, exclude the def age from it. Right. If you go to B2, higher up, where it has versus B2. The higher up versus B2, where it says B2, right? Call that data. Alright, press enter. Good. So if instead of dragging it down, go back and type in data important.
You mean count data?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, that's yeah. And some that's good. Data. And we can do me. Sorry.
You're sorry.
Average should be average. Right. So medium is
Count open bracket, then the data range.
is there any problems with this medium data? Okay. And this can use to mode. So, do you have any questions with all these?
Data range.
So you are going to change the B2 to B30 to the data, then everything is the same. Or you can drag from B2 to B30. Yeah, B2 to B31. Yeah, you can also use the data.
Okay, you can use the. I could just use that.
I'm sorry?
I could just use that.
Yeah, you can use various data.
But how do you replace it to data? Like, how do you name it data and it just works? So that's what he's asking.
Okay. It's just first you highlight all the data. You see here. You will see here is B1, right? You change it to data. Then enter. Then okay. Is there anyone have any problems of from the count the numbers of the data to the standard deviation of the data?
Yeah, I don't have like any of that. Okay, so when you push equals, like I tried.
Equals some data. You should usually use the parentheses. Yeah. Enter. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So,
And you scroll all the way down.
we are about from the number of the data.
Okay. Question.
Any questions?
How do you do just write it?
On mean, you should use average. You cannot use mean. You use the average.
Mean is average.
Yeah, when you use
Pour le plus léger, 30. 107. 59, 23, 33. 77. 23. 17,96.
let's try the drag from there.
Oh, I did it.
You did?
Somehow.
Let's define it. Okay.
It's when you name me the.
Here's some relationship.
Is it
That's too sharp.
Let's try to drag it.
Yes. Click on it. It's going to be 29, 7, 31.
These are the games. It's called data one.
So this one we used count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow, when you define it,
Maybe if that is done on the channel name works.
yeah, maybe you change it.
You just use data one.
Yeah, you should data
for
one.
Best Buy?
Okay.
Others are similar. You just change the. I show you here.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to make it for your school. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be data.
Try
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah. I just tried data again to see if it would recognize it, but it didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Wonderful.
Okay, no more questions for the simplest one. Okay. Then now we are going to histogram the data. I'm going to show you what's the result here. Here we can see this what we are going to get. Maybe some of you have already known how to do this. But the first important thing about how to histogram a data is first you have to decide how many bins we have to set up. If the data is, let's say, millions of data, so here the data is, there are only 30 data, so we have 7 bins, so it means 7 groups. But if there are millions of data, so how many groups are you going to set? It's a question. It's a real problem in real world. So actually, there's a very approximate formula for the numbers of groups. It's 1 plus ln n. Here, n is the numbers of the data.
Oh, okay.
And when you use Excel to try to do this, you input the cell with 1 plus log. This number is the number of the data, and this 2. Okay. But this is just an approximate number of the groups. When you actually do the histogram, the real group's number should be decided with. You have to consider the data features. Maybe some data they just concentrate together. Some of the other data they just spread with in a very large range. So it depends. Here, in this data we want to make things very to be simple. So we just divide it into 7 bins from 20 to 30, 30 to 40, then to 80 to 90. Then here's another problem here. When we do the frequency, this is a formula in Excel. when we decided the bins, let's say it's 30, 40, 50 to 80, then we got from 20 to 30. 30, the number 30 were included in the first bin, but the number 40 were included in the second bin. The 30 were not included in the second bin. Are we clear? Okay. So let's do the frequency. Here is the bins I show you here. And the critical point is from 20 to 90. This is two ends. When we do frequency, we just ignore the two ends. We just use from 30 to 80. Okay, and first we choose the 7 cells together. We will highlight this, and then we let it equals to frequency. The first parameter is the data. Here we use data. Okay, the second one is the bins should be 30 to 80. Okay, and then now here we cannot just put enter. We should put Control Shift and enter. Okay. This is called an array formula. So now we can sum this up, and we can see. Let's say sum up. The total number is 30, right? Okay. I will show you once more. Here we are going to use the formula frequency. So we choose the 7 cells. How many bins? You choose how many cells. Okay. Here we have 7 bins, so we choose 7 cells. And then we let it equals to here. You see here? We let it equals to frequency. First, we use the data. Then we use the bin. Right? Then we use Control Shift and enter.
At the same time?
Yeah, at the same time. Control Shift and enter. Okay. Do you have any questions?
From 30 to 30, right?
And why are you choosing
30.
why are you choosing the middle number, like minus every?
Yeah, this is because the actually you don't need a 20 and a 90. Actually, if there's a number is, let's say it's 10, then it will show in, below 30. That's beyond the 80.
Like interval.
Yeah, there's.
What you're saying is that this is where you cut it like this, and this is cut it like this.
Yeah.
30 to 80 here.
30 to 80?
Yes.
No do anything.
No. Then you close the bracket and then you Control Shift Enter.
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't use Control Shift and enter, I think.
So from here, Control Shift and
Yeah. No. Yeah. Control Shift enter.
And another question, on what basis are you using this as the y-axis and x-axis?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
On what basis do you choose that?
I mean, generally we always choose that. Histogram is the line. You cannot, we don't use like this.
Excuse me, but
So,
on what basis? Because I was thinking that probably this would be the lower one, and then this would be the
No. Always it should be like that.
Excuse
Okay.
me.
No, sure.
I'm doing the control shifting. It doesn't work. It was very hard.
Now you should highlight all the 7 cells together. Then let it equals to frequency data and then control shift. Box.
Oh.
First you should highlight
First,
7 cells together. Then you equals to. I think first highlight, right? Then put here.
so it's
Equals to.
17. Yeah.
Like 30 and 30, if you can, you have to shoot.
Right? Okay.
change for the whole thing.
Okay.
That's not
Okay. Some of you have some. I will show you.
here.
Some of you have the questions that why we don't include 20 and 90. This is because in some data, there may be some, let's say, if there's an age 10 here, it's not included in 20 to 30. So it's actually, we only need 30. It means it's from minus infinity to 30. Then 30 to 40. And then 80 to infinity. This actually means this. So that's why we only use 30 to 80. We don't use 90. Here, I choose 90 and 20. It's just to make things simple to understand. Okay?
It's like the
description column, we were able to find out that the minimum age is 23, which falls within the range 20 to 30, and the maximum is 87. So will it change anything if you still go ahead to select from 20 to 90?
What do you mean by goals?
You know, the reason why it didn't allow us to use the 20 and the extremes is that
Yeah.
you're saying if you remove the extremes, then you use that from negative infinity to 30 as the range for.
That's what I said. First, we have to choose the beans. If there's a, let's say there's an age 10, if there's an age 8, that's possible, right? And then if we see the minimum of the age is 8 or maybe 5, and the maximum maybe 100, then we will change the beans. We may change the beans from 0 to 20, and 20 to 40, maybe, and then 80 to 100. Yeah, that's why we have first to decide the beans. That's the most important part here. Okay. Then we have no problem with the beans. Okay? Are we clear?
Do all the beans have to have the same range?
Not necessarily. It depends on you. I mean, am I result?
No, the presentation where you showed all the formulas that you were using.
Sure. I will send you later after the presentation. Okay. Do you have any other questions? Okay. After we got all the frequencies, then we sum them up. Here, we have a sum up. This is very easy to show. And then we can count the relative frequencies. This is equals to the frequency over the sum. Here the sum is 30, right? Okay, and then we can drag to here. That's the relative frequency. And we can also sum them up. It's 1, right? The relative frequency is just the percentage of the data that falls into that range.
Excuse me. So you said it's the equals frequency over sum. So
Yeah.
frequency of the. Because I don't know exactly what to type when you said type frequency over sum. I just, So yeah, could you okay? Yeah. So I have frequency over sum.
No, it should be over the number of sum. 30. You should type 30.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, I will show you. Here,
oh, so,
I use H4. H4 means the frequency here, right? The cell before. And then I type 30, or I can do this. Number is 30, right? I will use the dollar sign.
oh, okay.
So that I
Okay.
fix this cell.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you mean this bar, right? Okay, this is just a format in Excel. I think it's here. The conditional format, data bar. First, you highlight the data you want to change the format, and then you can do, let's say, I'm not sure which one. Let's say this one, right? You can see. First, you highlight the data you want to. First, you want to highlight the data you want to change the format. Then you find the conditional format, and then choose the data bar. Then choose this one. And it's just actually this is the histogram, right?
Yeah,
If you
it's
change
dollar signs or something like that.
that.
I know.
If you want to show this small, generally you have to do that like that. First, highlight the frequency. Now we are going to do the histogram. Highlight the frequency. Then we insert column. 2D columns. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And we are going to change the x-axis. We are to select data. This is the axis level.
Oh yeah, it's just the frequency. So the
Be like that.
1 divided by the sum. So you first have to calculate the sum.
Calculate command for the whole thing. You need to select for the whole test and yes, the first one. And then select the whole. Yeah.
Do you have any questions here? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the number of bins and each bin, what the purpose of those things?
You mean the purpose of here? This is just gives you an approximate number of bins. It just helps you to decide how many bins you have to set. But it's not the exact number. It depends on how the data structure is. Okay?
So depending on what the number of bins tells you, that tells you how many columns you have.
Yeah.
So you have 7, so
But here the number of bins, this is just approximate. This is a formula. The 1 plus 1 and but this is not important. I just show you. Okay.
If the data continues from 30 to why if the number continues like from you end at 30 begin at let's say 30 point something something. Why are the bars separated?
Why are they?
The space. You want
Why
this
are these
why
bars?
is there space between the bar?
I mean the space between the bar.
Yes, why?
Here we can.
Why can you reduce it so wide?
You can change the space.
He gave a formula for the number of spins, he didn't give a formula for the width of each spin.
Frequency.
I'm sorry, I didn't know how to let this to be more closer, but it is possible when you do right click and then try to find an option. Maybe you can find it. But this is not very important, but actually in the real world, when we see the histogram, actually they have some space between the two columns. That's not important. Okay? Do you have any questions?
For what is
First, highlight. Okay.
Like within and then you left click that and then right click it. No. And then
Oh, I will show you.
Equal to what formula did you use for the width of the spin? Which formula did you use for the width of each spin?
You mean the numbers of the beams?
Yes, the width.
Oh, the width.
Yes.
The width just you use the max minus minimum over the numbers of the beam. I think it should be +1. It should be like this. Yeah. But this is not important.
Just curiosity.
Okay. This is just you. I think most of you can ignore this, because when you do actual data, how many beams? It doesn't depend on this. It depends on what the data, what the real data is. If it is, it depends on the data. It doesn't depend on this formula. Okay, now if we are going to change the this is 1, 2, 3 to 7. That's weird, right? It should be the beams here. So we are going to change it. First we right click and then we select data and then edit. This is the sorry.
Excuse me.
Okay. I'm sorry. So is everyone here got this histogram?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anyone who didn't get the histogram? Oh, you have one. Okay. So after we get the Now we are got the histogram. Now we are going to change the x-axis. First, we right-click. Then we choose the select data. Okay. See, here we can select the data. Here is the horizontal. Here. X-axis label. We can edit. So we choose from 20 to choose the bins. Yeah. Yeah. Now it shows here 20 to 30. Okay. Then we press OK. Then here it changed. Okay. Also, we can change the name of this. Here is series 1. We can change, use the same method, select data. Here is series 1. We can edit. You can type the name, maybe histogram. Then press OK. Then here is histogram, right? Okay. Also, you can, if you don't like this, you want to switch the X and Y columns. You can also do that. Select data, switch row and column. Just press it, then OK. Yeah. That's it. I don't like that. Okay?
The data should start from 1, right? That's what your body says.
You mean this?
The y-axis should start from 1. The value should be 1 to 9.
This is 1, right? I mean, this is right.
Yeah.
From 20 to 30, there's only 1, right? From 30 to 40, there's three people died in this age. Okay, so everyone now finish the histogram. Okay, any questions? I think you did use the relative frequency. You need to change it. You need to change it. Yeah. Delete this first. Delete. No. You should choose the whole.
Divided by the number of bits. 30. By the number of bits.
Just yeah, that's it. Choose the frequency. Yeah, then do the same thing.
Change this one, so the axis one, then we see what it means.
Yeah, I think you did it right. You did it right. I think you did it right. So I didn't ignore this. So, just let it go. Oh, I think you use the change it to use the frequency. Select data. Chart. This one. Here. Put it here. Yeah.
What is the range of it?
And this
Or like 5 minutes.
This is right. Yeah.
So that was +1.
Okay.
That's as far as I know.
Okay. Some of you may got different histogram because you use the relative frequency to do the histogram. So you got the number just 0.333, something like that, right? So you just change the relative. You don't use the relative frequency. You use the frequency. Okay. So is there any questions about a histogram? Okay. Okay, let's go to the second part. It's about confidence interval. Let's say here we already know the data. Data is about 30 people and their death age. Now we are going to estimate the death age, the average death age of the whole population. How can we estimate this? We can know that the average of the 30 people, their death age is nearly 59, right? Look at your Excel. You already got it. The mean is 59 point something, right? This is the sample mean. We're going to infer the population mean from the sample mean. So it means the population mean just equals to the sample mean. So you already learned the statistics, right?
Yeah. What was the question?
The question is the population mean is not exactly sample mean, right? So the population mean is near 59, but it has a range. But we don't know. Maybe so we need to know the confidence interval here. With the confidence, let's say confidence level 95%, we have to find this range, right? The first important thing to find the range, we need to find this. This is the half length of the confidence interval. Okay. So here we already have a formula for this. With the confidence level 95%, and the degree of freedom is just the number of the data minus 1. And first we calculate the t-value. This Excel already gives you the formula for t-value. Just TIMV equals to TIMV. 1 minus the confidence level and then freedom. That's it. We can get a number. That's t-value. And then we try to find a standard error of the data. Okay? The standard error of the data, you just first we already got the standard deviation in the first page, right? We got that number. And then we use this number over square root of n. Okay? So this is the standard error. Then we multiply the t-value by standard error. Then that's the half length of the confidence interval. We call it R. And then we will know the confidence interval is mean minus R and mean plus R. Just here is the mean. This length is R. So we got that. Okay? I'll show you in Excel. Okay. First, we already got the sample standard deviation equals to sample standard deviation. So this is data. This is a standard deviation. We got it in the first page, right?
Yeah.
And then sample standard error equals to sample standard deviation over square root of the total number of the data is 30, right? Okay. So everyone can get the standard error. Do you have any questions? Sample standard deviation is STDEV. We got it in the first sheet, right? Uh-huh. STDEV. No? Yeah, you use the No. When you try to do when you try to do the standard deviation, you don't put in here. I'll show you. Here you use equals to. You don't put in SD. You should put in the number of standard deviation. Here, this number. Press that cell, and then over square root of the total number of the data, 30. That's it.
Or you can bring it from the other sheet like histogram. You can say it's equal to, go to the...
I'm sorry?
You can bring it from histogram sheet. I mean, you don't need to type it, you have to place it.
Yeah, you can do that. But here, I want to make it more clear in one sheet. Okay? Then the degree of freedom is just equals to 30 minus 1, right? And the t-value equals to what? TINV of 1 minus confidence level, then the degree of freedom. That's what?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to calculate these. So for the first one, yeah, equal.
Press this. Yeah, that's effect.
Right. Divided by
SQRT, square root QRT of 30.
Okay, then and then just, the other ones are just the same as...
Yeah, the other one is just the same as before. You don't need to do it now.
Oh, okay.
You don't need to do it now.
Okay, and then degrees of freedom.
Degree of here. Okay. Degree of freedom just to input the cell with equals to. Here n is just the number of the data, 30 here. Right, in this example, put in 30 minus 1.
Okay.
And then press enter. Everything is done. T-value just put in TINV. Then 1 minus 95%, comma, n minus 1. N is 30. Okay? And the standard arrow, just put in here. Here, SD, do not use SD. Just press the cell that is the number of standard deviation. Okay? And then over square SQRT of the number, it should be 30 here.
Okay.
Okay, everything is clear. Now we got t-value and standard arrow. Then,
for the standard error, you have two formulas. The first one.
You just ignore this. This is from the theory.
Oh, okay.
Okay. When you do the Excel, this is much easier to do. Okay, now we are going to calculate the half length of the confidence level. This just equals to t-value times the sample standard error. That's it. So this is not hard, right? SQRT. SQRT. R.
My battery has issues. That's why I just want to keep it plugged in.
You don't have SQRT?
It's back on.
I think most of you should have SQRT. You can type the.
Because my Excel is trash.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe you should change your Excel. Yeah. Maybe, or you can calculate the square root of 30. Calculate it and then put it in a number. You can get it. Also can get it. Okay, now we can calculate the lower boundary and the upper boundary. Okay, this equals to the mean. I'm sorry, we should get the sample average first.
It's on now.
Okay.
Here, the lower boundary should be the sample average minus the half length of the confidence interval. That's it. Okay?
So the
Minus
sample average minus
the half length of the confidence interval. We already got it.
Oh, yeah, I have that. Yeah. Oh, okay.
This is the sample average minus this one.
All right.
That's it. And the upper boundary just equals to sample average plus the half length. That's it. Okay?
Okay.
So everyone good? No? What? Yeah. Minus. You didn't get the.
The T value is T inverted. T-I-M-B.
Equals to.
T-I-M-B.
Then sample down the arrow.
Now you want to do 1 minus the probability. That represents the confidence level.
Times.
And then from there is the degrees of freedom.
Yeah. Press C value.
But that's one.
Yeah.
That's one.
And then here you use. I think you did it right. Minus this one. This one minus this one. Equals to. Okay. So, is there anyone who didn't get the lower and upper bound?
The T value.
What? Oh, you didn't get the lower bound?
No, I get it.
Okay.
Can I just see the PowerPoint slide, please?
Okay.
Do you think you can send us the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Can you email us the PowerPoint?
Sure. I'll email you all the stuff after.
Thank you.
Okay.
Average minus the rate. The rate and the error.
Okay, so now we are going to understand about the confidence interval.
Plus or minus this.
Here is 52 to 65. That means the population mean of the death age should lie in this range with a confidence level of 95%. Right? Okay, so all of you understand this. Now let's go to the more interesting part. There's two set of variables. First, before we already have the death age, and then we analyze the data of death age. We know the feature of the death age. Now we are going to have two other sets. The second one is the exercise time per week. For this person, he died 45, and he has almost 7 hours of exercise per week. And this education time means the education year after high school. And we are going to see, is there any relation between these 3 sets of variables? Maybe if you exercise more, you will live longer. Maybe you have high education, you will live shorter. Who knows, right? We are going to see it from the data. Okay. First, I will show you the result. Okay. We can see that. Oh, the education and the death age. It seems that they have no relation. No. But the exercise time and the death age, it seems it has a very strong relation, right? But the data is, I make it up. It doesn't mean anything. Okay. How can we show this? We use the scatter diagram. Okay. First, we are going to sort the data. Sort the data. We use the sort. First, choose the data. Here you do not choose the death age. And also you do not choose the first column. You choose from the second row, second column to the end. Okay? Choose. Just highlight all of them. Okay? Let's do it step by step. First, we choose two columns. Okay, I change it. Highlight the 2 columns without the first row. Remember, without the first row. Okay, then press home. I'm sorry, I make it a mistake. First, we should choose all the data. We'll have first to sort first. First, choose all the data here, including
the headings.
Yeah, including everything. No, not including everything. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay, no.
Yeah, just choose this data, all the data, without the first row and the first column, and then we press the sort. See? Everyone is here. And custom sort. Then sort by. We are going to sort by age. Okay, value we don't change. Smallest to largest. Okay. Then that's done. So the first person is who died at 23, and he exercised 4 hours per week, and he has 2 years of education after high school. Okay. Then we are going to do the scatter diagram. Choose the death age and exercise time. These 2 columns without the first row, and then we insert the scatter. Okay, that's it. Sir, can anyone get this diagram? Okay. Now we're going to see the education and the death age. First, we choose this row. Okay. So choose this column, and we press Control. Keep pressing Control. We choose another column. Remember, keep pressing your Control. Okay? Then we insert getter. That's it. We can change it to, other colors. Okay, can everyone get these two diagrams? Okay. So if you have any questions, okay. Now we're going to see what's the. It seems that it is a linear relationship, right? We're going to see the trend line. Press right click the dots, and then add trend lines. You're going to see this, right?
Oh, okay. So add tread line, and then after that is which option? Which tread line option?
Linear.
Add trend line.
Oh,
okay. Do the diagram. Okay. First, highlight the dots. Then right click. Add trend line. Then just this. Okay. So, is there any questions?
Just like Lisa.
No.
What? This graph?
How do we change color of the data point?
Change the column.
How do we change
Change
the color?
Blue to red, the color.
The color of the data points. The color of the data points itself. Like you changed it from blue to red. Exactly how you did it.
The design stuff for the chart.
You mean the two charts? Yeah. I did it twice. I didn't change anything.
No, I mean for the second chart.
Blue to red.
Oh, okay. I see. I see. When you insert, you can right press.
Go to the design tab.
Oh yeah, design. Okay. First, I answered that question. Go to the design and then see. Okay. Or do this again. First, choose. Highlight the two columns. See. And then we insert. Okay. Scatter. That's it. And then we choose the dots. Right click. Add trend line. That's it. Just okay, so everyone get these two charts. Okay.
Like this. So for this, we can, if you want that, we can touch the
Once. No, just once. Yes, go right click it. Go to add trend line.
So the next question is, we know there's a strong positive relation between the exercise time and the death age. So the next question is,
Yeah, can we like switch dev exercise to dev? Can you try to do that?
Can we switch this?
Yes.
Okay, I see. Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. But I don't like that. Okay. And also you can, when you do this, you can change. Okay. This means when, as a insurance company, when there's one person who comes to buy insurance, they are going to ask them, how many exercise time do you have per week? If they have, if they have more exercise time, the insurance company may charge less premiums for them, from them, right? So the next question is how much less should we charge? If if there's two persons, one have 5 hours per week, the other one has 10 hours per week. How is the premium difference between them? So we need to know what's the effect of the exercise time to the death age, right? So we're going to do the linear regression here. We let's see. Okay. We have a formula that's lineast, L-I-N-E-S-T, lineast line estimation, and this is also an array formula. This means when you press enter, you should Control Shift and enter. Remember this. And also, there's 4 parameters in the lineast. The first is the data y. That's the independent data. That here in this example, this y means your death. This means the death age, and x here means the exercise time. We are going to see what the exercise time to affect the death age, right? And the constant means when you do regression, do you have a constant in that formula? And the status means do you want to do the analyze the errors? Both this we are going to do yes. So we put 1 here. If you don't want to do, let's say if you don't want to analyze the error, you just press 0 here. Okay. So now let's do it. First, we choose 5x2 cells. We highlight 5x2 cells. I already put the cells in white, in yellow background. You can see it. Okay, highlighted it. Then we put it here. Equals to LINEST. Okay. This is the first one is y. Y is the stacks. The stacks. I'm sorry. Sorry. Here. First highlight, then Okay. Dash H. This is Y. Just to choose the dash H. Oh, it's too slow. Okay, then comma. And then choose the X. This is the exercise time. Okay? Then comma. Then 1. This means you include the constant item in it. Then comma. Then press 1. This means you want to analyze the error. And that's it. And then press Control Shift and enter. Okay, we got the result here. Anyone have any problems with that?
The ones you entered, what do you see they were?
I'm sorry?
The ones. The 1 and the 1.
Okay.
2 ones. What did you see there?
There are 2 ones. The first one is. So do you know the regression?
Yeah.
So all of you know the regression, right?
Yeah.
Regression, you have a model, right? Let's say y equals to x plus b plus sigma, right? If first the leanest LINEST y x, here you can put 0 or 1. Here you can put 0 or 1.
Is that for A? So we need the constant. So what is it? So you
Yeah.
need the constant.
This means b. Oh, I'm sorry. Here is b. If you need this b, not to be equal to 0, then you put 1. If you don't like the b, you put it to be 0. That's it.
Well, why do you choose 1 and 2? I mean, it could be anything.
No.
No. It's true or false.
Oh,
It's just true. 1 means true. 0 means false. You cannot choose anything else. Okay. So, is there anyone have any problem to get this? You mean the Excel or you mean the idea?
Yeah, just the slope intercept, all that.
You mean the Excel steps?
Yeah, the Excel steps.
Okay. First, highlight the 5x2 cells.
Okay.
Can we do that? Okay. Then, here, press, then equals to LINEST. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Then parentheses. Then choose the Y, this column. Okay? Then comma. Okay, do you have any? Then choose the X. Then comma. Then 1, 1.
So it says that Linus is an array function.
Yeah, this is also the array function. We already have 2 array functions. The first one is the frequency. The second one is the length.
Okay. But hold on. So does that, you have a 5x2 matrix that you used to define. So is it predefined? As in you always need that size of a matrix, so you can extend it over.
You cannot extend it. It's
just 5x2.
Just 5x2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because they have that output is 5x2.
Okay. So that section of the spreadsheet where you have the results of the linear regression.
Yeah.
It's a template
Yeah.
Already defined templates.
Yeah, they already defined them.
Okay.
It's just 5x2 cells you need to use. Okay? Then Control Shift and Enter, and you can get this. You got the You cannot? You didn't press Control Shift.
You didn't highlight.
You didn't choose highlight the 5x2 first. First step is highlight 5x2.
Check verification.
Okay.
Check ver.
Is a form of one that's when just feed or not feed. Everything feed or not feed. How does the function know which one is not to where?
Yeah, I will tell you about this. When you get the result, you only have a 5x2. The first is the slope. The second is the intercept. This is already defined by the formula here, by the function. And here, this means the confidence interval. This is just the half length of the confidence interval for this estimation. And this also. In others, I just don't show you here. It's too. And this R square. This means how your data fits this model. If this number near 1, that means your model is really, just like what you see before, the access time and the death age, they have a very strong relation. So this 0.9 is really high. If you try to do the exercise time and the death age, you will see this. You can also get a number here, but you will see the R square here is really low. Okay, I'm not going to show you that the other two data, the relation between the other two data. You already see it from the diagram. There's no relation. Okay. Okay.
So is that to say that that's how the program is? So always you have to choose 2x5 cell.
Yeah. If you want to do the line estimation, you have first to choose the 5x2 cells, because the output of the line estimation should be 5x2. Okay.
How about if it is like multiple regression, which is more applicable? Just can you give us an idea? It's going to be like 8.
Yeah. If you want to do multiple regression, then you may choose 4x3, something like that. Yeah. I'm not going to show you the more complicated one. Okay.
So it does say that your labeling must be in the exact order. Your slope plus or minus R squared. That labeling.
What? This is slope.
That labeling, the order.
No. Only this one and this one are about the slope. Only the first two. This is about the slope. This is about the intercept, and the result below here. This is about the whole regression.
What I'm asking is, that's to say that when you are giving these names, right? You should not switch R squared and you should not write F squared, F first before R squared. Should you maintain the exact order?
Yeah, it's the exact order. It will not change. It's just this order. It will not change. That's defined by the function line estimation already by Excel. If you want to do the regression, more precisely, you can use other tools like Stata or some SAS, something else. But use Excel, you can just do line estimation like this. Okay.
What's the number below the slope? Is that the 0.28?
Okay, this means
That's the correction coefficient.
this means the slope is 9.5, right? This means 9.5 plus 0.28. 95 minus 0.28. This is the confidence interval with 95% confidence level. Okay? Similar, this intercept is the same.
If you were to adjust the confidence interval, what are you going to do?
I'm sorry?
Just curious, if you were to adjust.
Oh, does it? I don't know.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
You want to do without other confidence level. Oh, you cannot. I don't think you can do this from Excel.
Okay.
You can do this from, other tools. Okay.
So Excel is default 95%.
Yeah. It's very simple.
I want to be sure, when we open the Excel sheet, that structure was there. No.
You mean this?
The structure was already there when we opened the sheet. When we opened our Excel sheet, we clicked on these two variables. The structure was already there.
Yeah.
So is that to say that Excel generated it or you typed it? That's what
I typed it. Yeah. When you do by yourself, do the line estimation, you can only get this 5x2 cells. You cannot get this. This is just
okay, so that means that when typing it, you have to maintain the same order.
Yeah.
You have to maintain the exact order.
Yeah. You must understand what does this mean. You can use help line estimation. Or you Google line estimation. You can find that. What does each cells means? Okay.
I didn't even know that way, so that's something new.
We have two more sheets. Okay. Now we are going to. Now we're going to do the distributions. Let's introduce another example. Here in this example, the insurance companies want to estimate the total life insurance payments for a specific groups of people. Okay? This groups of people, one thing we know is that the number in this group of people who have buy insurance from this company is 50. There are 50 persons in this group. And the death rate of this group, let's say it's a male over 85. The death rate is 0.14. Okay? This is all we know. Now, the insurance company want you to analyze the death number. How many people in this 50 will die this year, right? There we can calculate the number, the estimated number, right? Let's do an example. First, let's try to find out the probability of 8 deaths out of 50. Okay? Maybe you want to. The death rate is R. There are total 50 people. We are trying to find out the probability that 8 will die. Right? This equals 2. I think you already take the statistics. You should know this. What is this?
The number of total numbers, which is let's say 50.
You choose from
combination of 8 and then the probability
times R
8
times
100.
right? Yeah, right. Okay. So you understand this. Now we're going to do it in Excel. In Excel, you will use this probability of the how many people die. If it equals to K, it will. This number is the K, and this number is the death rate. No, this number is the 50, the total number, and this is the death rate. Oh, I may I made it wrong, but let's see. We use the binomial distribution. B-I-N-O-M-D-I-S-T. Remember this, okay? And when we do Excel, we let it equals to B-I-N-O-M-D-I-S-T, right? Then the first is the numbers. The total number of the people is 50, right? We choose 50. But here, remember, we don't want to change. When we change the number of days, we don't want to change the total number, right? So we add the dollar sign.
Or F4.
Yeah. So that makes it not change. Okay, then.
So you press the number and just press F4.
This is the trials. Trials means how many people will die. Let's choose.
Oh, you put that sign between each one.
Let me see.
Press that. What you say? Then press that.
Okay. This is the number of days, and then the probabilities. The probability death rate will already have it. The same for the same. We don't want to be changed, so we add the dollar sign. Then the last one is this is also a true or false. If we put it into 0, it means we don't want to be cumulative. We just want to calculate the probability that y equals to k. If we put it into 1, it means we want to do the cumulative probability. It means y probability that y is smaller or equals to k. Okay? Here we should input 0. Oh. Okay, I see.
Test for the first part, you have the number of trials instead of the probability and number of successes.
Yeah.
I've heard that term before, actually.
Because in one day,
Sorry.
stay in my head.
Oh, so.
Numbers.
Yeah. Well, up around 20.
So A5 should be first and then B2. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the trials is the number.
Yeah, I think I did it wrong. It should be like this. Yeah. Sorry.
Wait, what did you change it to?
Yeah, here, look at this. The first one should be the numbers of days. The second one is the total number of trials. It should be 50 here. And add the dollar sign. The third one should be the death rate. And the last one is 0. Okay?
What is the first one again?
The first one is the numbers of days. It means how many the probability of is k here. The probability that the numbers of days equals to k. K is just the first parameter. Okay?
Okay.
Can anyone get this number? This means the probability that in this year no one will die. This is the probability. Okay? Then we are going to drag this down to 50.
Yeah, it is one.
Okay?
When you look at the CDF as well, you see you get 1. You should get 1.
Because
25.
the maximum number of days in this year is 50, right? The total number is 50. You cannot.
25.
have more days than 15. Okay. Do you have any questions? Okay.
Wait, yeah, I have a question. How do you get all those numbers to combo?
Okay.
Oh, what? I think this one?
Yeah.
I drag this
No.
Oh,
You should,
no, this one?
you should,
Why the air back this side?
you should go to the cross sign. Really here. See? Across and then drag down until 50. Then everything's done. Okay. And here, we should know how to do this, right? Binomial. A5. Okay. And then probably here we should put 1 here. Here we put 1 here means we want to do the cumulative probability. That's it. We drag it down. We'll see. Here, they are all 1 because this is this probability is too small. Excel cannot show so many zeros. Okay. Now we can draw a graph of this. We highlight the probability of number of days. Okay. And then do the same thing. We insert columns. Okay, that's it. We can see. You can see from this graph the probability that maybe 8 people die is 0.16%. Okay? So everyone can get this
your problem
graph.
is D4 is opposing D2.
Okay.
74 has to be D2.
So do you have any questions in this sheet? No? Okay.
Because there is a number and not cell location. Number 50 instead of cell location D2.
Insert columns. This one. Yeah, that's it.
It's the same thing like the cumulative key.
Okay. This is not hard, right? Okay, the last part, we're going to do some simulations. We already know the death rate, but we know the probability that maybe 8 people will die is 16%. The probability is 0.16. But in real world, what will this happen? What does 0.16 mean? Right? We don't know. We want to do simulations. The key thing in the simulation is we should generate a random number. That's the key thing in the simulation. The computer can generate a random number for you automatically. You just choose a cell. Here, I have a random number here. You just input equals to RAND random, and then press enter. You can get the random number. That's from random from 0 to 1. Okay, that is just, it means this variable have a uniform distribution from 0 to 1. Okay, first I will show you this. First equals to RND. Okay, you can press F9, it will change. Press F9. You can see this is just a random number from 0 to 1. Okay. Now the first thing is we are going to generate 50 random numbers. So it equals to random. And we drag this until the 50. Okay? So we have 50 random numbers now.
Is it possible that some of them will be repeated?
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, because they are all independent and randomly choose from 0 to 1. So they may be repeated, they may equal. Okay? And we know the death rate is 0.14. So from 0 to 1, we have a 0.14. Okay, we got a random number. It will falls into 0 to 1 with same probability for each of the numbers, right? So what's the probability if this number falls into this range? What is the probability? Right? The probability is 0.14 if this number falls into this range, right? So if this means if this random number falls into 0.14, we let this person die. Okay? Does this just simulate the real world? This person have a probability of 0.14 to die. Okay? So now we are going to introduce an if function in this. We will use if. The first thing we will choose that number, that random number, right? We use R. That random number is smaller than 0.14. If this is true, the output is 1. If this is not true, the output is 0. Okay? This is the if function. So this means the 1 here. If here is 1, it means this person died. If here is 0, it means this person was alive. Okay? So we're going to do equals to if. Okay? We press the cells before it. We have B6 smaller than this, but D2, the death rate, we don't want it to change, right? So we use the dollar sign. Okay. If it is true, this is the value. If it is true, if it is true, it means this person died. We put in 1. Value if it is false. If it is false, we put in 0. Okay. Okay. Then press enter. Okay. Then press 9. You can see this person can die or not. It changes. You see? Okay. Then you try to drag this until 50. Okay, you will see some people die, some not. And this is unlucky, he died. There are lucky, they are alive. Okay? Now we'll count the number of the total number of days. Just sum up all of this column, right? That's the number of days equals to sum. We highlight, we choose this column. Okay? Anything? Press enter.
No, actually, guys.
You will see. Okay, in this simulation, we can see 8 people died. We can press 9 and see. This number will change. See? But it matches. You will see. From previous, we know that the probability that how many people will die, maybe that is from, let's say, 4 to 13. It's hardly that 25 people will die in 1 year. It's hardly. And from the simulation, we can see that when I press F9 to do this again and again, we cannot see a number that's greater than 20, right? It's very hardly to be that. Okay. This is the simulation for the numbers of deaths. It's very simple. Now we are going to make things more interesting. Okay, is there any questions about the simulation of death number? Do you have any questions?
I think I just got last week.
You didn't get it? Oh yeah, you got it. Okay. Okay, now we add so for each death, the insurance companies may have to give them some payment, right, if they claim. So for each death, but the payment may be different. We don't know. Because it is because of the difference in the contract and the difference of the reason of their death. Maybe they are in a car accident, maybe they are just in a catastrophe, something, or earthquake or something. We don't know. Maybe he suicide. Okay? So the reason will affect the payment. Now here we just let the payment per day to be a random number. That's normal distribution. The mean is 1,000. Okay, the variance is 10,000. Okay, I just to make this more interesting, but this is not in real world. It's not like this. Okay, so now here the problem is we are going to try to randomly draw a number from the normal distribution. How can we do that? Right? We can only draw a number from randomly draw a number from a uniform distribution. We know, just do the random. Okay, but for a normal distribution, okay, we have a normal distribution like this. Okay, we want to randomly draw a number from the normal distribution. Let's say this is 1,000. Let's say it's 20. This is 900. Okay. We can see that here we have the most highest probability. So it's very possible that we can draw a number near 1,000. It's very, it's harder that we can draw a number, let's say 10,000. It's harder that. So this means we are going to use the inverse function of the normal distribution. Okay? All of you have known the function of the cumulative probability function of normal, right? Fx. So Fx means Fx is from 0 to 1, right? If the x is, minus infinity, it's 0. If x is infinity, it's 1, right? If x is 1000 is just 0.5. Here, what do we want to get? We want to get is the number, the x, right? We want to get the x. We want to randomly draw the x. So we are trying to find out what we can is we can randomly draw from 0 to 1. So we just randomly draw from 0 to 1. We get this. This we already get. And then we do the inverse function of this. Okay? So that we can get the randomly draw from the normal distribution here. So this function in Excel is the normal inverse, NORM-INV. And the first parameter is that random number. And then this is the mean. This is a standard deviation. Okay? So let's try to do this. Okay, this equals to norm-INV. First parameter is just press rand. Then the mean is 1000. Standard deviation is 100. Okay? Okay? Everyone is clear with this? And then press enter. That's it.
Well, question. The rand we have in the norm inverse formula, does it generate a different random number or it picks it from the one we have on the left?
It will generate a different number. Because every time when it calculates, you find out that there's a rand in that function, it will generate a new random number.
Why don't we pick the one we are already using to determine the number of?
If we pick a number here, it will have some relationship with the this, right? That's not what we want. We will want these two to be independent. Okay? Then we drag. We don't have much more time. Okay, we want to drag this until 50. Okay, this is the number. And we can calculate the total payment sum of the normal distribution. Okay? That's the total payment, maybe this.
So the mean payment per guy. This is mean it varies.
Okay. And we press 9, we can see the total payment may around 50,000, something around 50,000. Okay.
Some died, some didn't.
Huh?
Some died, some didn't.
Yeah, some died, some didn't.
So you did the sum of the norm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, I was wrong. I was just to try to get the time. Okay, the total payment is not the sum. I'm sorry. Very sorry. The total payment should be some dies because some died, some not. We will pay for the best people and times the payment, right? If they are alive, we are not going to pay. So we just the payment equals to the death or not multiplied by the payment. Okay. This is the payment for each person, and we drag it until the last. Okay. And we sum up this equals to sum of this. Okay? Okay, it's around 7.
Here? That tiny.
Everyone can get this? So, if we want to do multiple times of simulation and want to see what's going on, because this is just one simulation, it may have because it may different, it may have no use. If we want to do more times, first we copy this cell to here, and then we do. Let's say we want to do it 20 times. Let's say we want to do it 100 times. We choose the 100. 100 times 2 cells together. We use the data. What if analysis? Use the data table. Okay? And we choose the column input cell. Whatever it can choose, because we didn't change any input. The only change variable here is a random number. It's already in the function, so it doesn't matter what cell we are going to choose. We're just going to choose a blank here. Just then okay.
Excuse me.
Okay. Oh,
Excuse me.
sorry.
Could you go over what you just said, and why are we doing this, like this particular one? Why are we doing this one?
This one or this one?
This one.
This one.
Yes.
Oh,
if you could go over again.
Okay. Time. Something's wrong. It's probably a good time. Is this a good time to break? Yeah, it should. There's no time break, but I think that this is enough. I just answered the last question. Okay. Why don't we take a break for lunch? So we'll grab everything. It'll be a working lunch because Rosalind Davis will come back for about an hour. She'll talk about career fair, and then we'll pick up again at 1 o'clock, and we'll go to 5:30. And there's more for you to do. Continue with break.
Some of them, she did something and then you, some of them, and then he was just
You get like some number and you do it for multiple amount of times.
How do you not I think it was first. First sale was right. Yeah, we did.
I was trying to think like if there's anywhere like if you but you get the same
I forgot, I can't even done.
Guys, go type in and grab something because the next session is going to get started. So there's some samples and stuff or some racks that you come get. You have to rush to the bathroom. You probably only have 10 minutes before you start again. This one?
I will tell
Girl, I need to get the memo. You know, in the morning when you guys woke up, I was like, I went back to sleep. I said, I'm not, I'll come when I come.
Don't forget to
This is a short one. You know, all this Excel stuff.
I never took a class.
How did you do that?
But maybe you show me the web, like, okay, next time I'll
Plus,
do
like,
this.
you have the power of computer science.
Yeah, I just don't know. I did undergrad computer science. No, computer science and computer science. This is like the last one.
2 years?
Yeah, I guess for this, you could study, it's like it's more of a matter of choice, yes, like, or based on your understanding of the distributions themselves. Okay.
Gosh. Mom, did I take a picture of you?
Everything together.
And it wasn't in the pouring rain. That's the crazy part. Sandwiches.
Still charging them.
Yeah, it's working perfectly, just not really perfectly. Works perfectly.
No problem. Okay. If it works perfectly, I'm sure it's fine because they have you before they give you.
I'm good.
They go through first.
You're right back.
Yes, it was working on it, so you got to roast beef, veggie, chicken salad, and then there's one, they call it the American foot.
0-1. Try 0-1.
Apparently, what's your favorite?
Seriously, how did you get your grades for?
I'm sorry. Je l'ai encore fait.
No, they man.
J'ai pas commencé ce matin.
What's the air first?
T'as allé cette journée? T'as allé...
Can highlight salsa? What? Press salsa. Equals,
After then she said
Just got my first laptop.
a bunch of things.
okay, thanks.
There's a veggie wrap.
Did you want any money?
We have a networking event for
What was the other thing?
maybe
honey mustard or something like that?
we were sent
Did you want
the names of the individuals from the different companies that's going to be present.
I don't want to get up with you.
Is it appropriate to
You're
email
right.
them and like kind of introduce yourself and say that you look forward
Yeah, no,
to
I don't want to go. Okay, fine. I'm up.
them on Friday?
Absolutely. You have their contact information? and
Yeah,
everything?
they provide email
Oh, yeah.
addresses.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
all right.
really good.
Okay.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
I printed everything out for you all.
I remember yours, because I had to fight down. Yeah. That's perfect. Perfect. Right there. 1, 2,
pictures at night, like.
We want to start back again, so we want to grab our lunch and we'll get on back to the table. Set up?
I sure am.
Back here and kick it off.
I gotta take another picture.
Did they run out?
They got really.
We thought we'd do this as a working lunch, so feel free to meet. I want to reintroduce Rosalind Davis, who's going to talk to us about maximizing career fairs. And if you haven't seen a couple of those, I'm sure you'll see a number of them in the future. So, yeah, Rosalind.
Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hope you all had a great evening and a good morning so far. I'm going to spend about probably the next 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes talking to you all about career fairs. I was just told that you all have a networking event coming up, so the things that I'm going to tell you go for career fairs as well as networking events. So I definitely encourage you all to take advantage of all the information that I'm going to give you. I am, again, passing out the slides, so you don't really have to write down anything that's on the slides. If you do want to take some notes, you can. I also, where we had several requests about cover letters yesterday, I printed off a sample cover letter for you, and stapled to the front is a intern resume that I got a request for, so I want to give it to everyone. And the cover letter, it shows you exactly what to put in each paragraph, as well as a sample cover letter if you flip the page over. So I figured that that would be some beneficial information to you. For those of you who emailed me your resume to take a second look at it, thank you. My apologies for not being able to get it back to you today. I was busy this morning, but I promise you I will get it back to you. I can't do it tomorrow, but before this is over, you'll have your resume back. It's not a requirement. If you think that you have to email it back to me, it's not a requirement, but I did have some people yesterday ask me if I could take a second look over it for them. I will be happy to do that for you. Just give me a little bit of time to give you some feedback on that. Okay, so we're going to start talking about career fairs. How many of you all have been to a career fair? What was your experience? You go here, Dave.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking you. What was your experience at the career fair?
Well, the first time when I went to a career fair, like, it was slightly intimidating because, well, here at Georgia State, the career fair, there's a lot of companies that come in, and, you know, I've worked on the elevator pitch and stuff, but this is my very first time doing it, so it's kind of like, you know, moment. But after a while, I got more comfortable, and I found like that it was overall like a good experience because it just got more comfortable with just speaking with employers and see what their expectations are like.
Okay. When you how did you prepare for it?
When I prepared, I know for our career fairs they had the list of employers, so I looked up the different employers and which ones were looking for actuarial science interns or entry-level actuaries, and so from there I just looked up the company information, like what's their background, some history overviews, things like that, and from there just prepare the different resumes so that way I know which ones I want to go to, try to make the resumes tailored to what they would look for. And,
have you had me for BCom yet?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say, have you had my class before? Okay. Well, everything that he touched on is everything I'm going to touch on today about how do you present yourself at career fairs, how do you make the best of a career fair, how do you prepare for a career fair, how do you dress for a career fair. Again, this is going to be synonymous to a networking event as well. Okay. The first thing that you want to do is you want to find out who is going to be there. And just because, again, our career fair here at Georgia State is very big and it can get very intimidating, but that doesn't mean that every employer there is there to recruit your specific major. So it's very important that you find out who is going to be there and what they're recruiting for. Also, you want to be sure that you qualify for the positions that they're recruiting for. Some people are only there to recruit master's level students, so undergrads you would not qualify. Some are only there to recruit interns. So, and at master's level, they don't want master's level interns, they want undergrad level interns. So just be sure that you know exactly what they're recruiting for when you're making your company list. You want to do the research on the company. I mentioned this yesterday when I talked about doing going for your resume, how you want to know what the company does. You want to be sure that you're tying something into their vision, their mission, their values, and things like that. Same thing right here. You want to be sure to check out their website. You want to know what they do, where they do it, and what open positions they actually have. The biggest mistake you can ever make at a career fair, if you don't listen to anything else I say, listen to this. Never go up to them and ask them, what is it that your company does? That is the biggest mistake to make. That shows a recruiter that you have done no research. You may not do a lot of research on it, but at least know what they do. We all know what Target, Walmart, Starbucks, McDonald's, we know what they do. But there are a lot of organizations that we don't know what they do because their name doesn't entail or they don't, it's not a really popular place to work. So just always do the research and know what they do. Focus on the companies that you qualify for the positions that they're seeking to fill. Even if you know, okay, I don't have the experience, but I know this, so I'm going to go talk to them anyway. Definitely, I'm not discouraging you from talking to them, but just understand if they have posted that they're only looking for master's level students, they are not interested in hiring students pursuing a bachelor's degree. So just understand that as well. You want to identify your priorities based on time. So again, like I said, the career fair we have here and our networking events are huge. And you're looking at 80 to 150 employers being at each one of these. Networking events are a little smaller, but even still, to have 20 to 30 people there, you're not going to be able to talk to all of them. So you want to identify who you can talk to and prioritize. Who do I have to see? If I could work at this company, it would make my life complete. That's who you want to talk to. If I have a little bit of time, it would be nice to talk to these people just to see what it's like, their atmosphere is like, their work environment, just to see what they have to offer because I know a couple people that have worked there. If I have extra time, it would be nice to see if they have any interns or anything open. So again, you always want to be sure to make a list so that and when you get there, at most career fairs, well I know we do it for hours, we have a map and it's going to show you exactly where everyone is located. When you first get to a career fair, don't immediately just jump in and stop at the first table. Plan it out. Now I understand you're in school, you have limited time, you may not be able to get to see everybody that you want to see, so you want to hurry up and jump in. So just plan to have take about 10 to 15 minutes. I call them warm-ups and cool-downs. You want 10 minutes to warm up because you're going to be nervous. Your experience, you were nervous, right? When you first approached your first table, you were nervous, but your last one, you were like, oh, I got this. Okay. So you want to give yourself at least 10 minutes to just kind of warm up. Look at everything around you, see where everything's located, and then jump in. You don't if you're walking around, nobody's going to say, oh, we're not going to hire him because he's just walking around, he don't know what he's doing. They know your students, they know you're nervous. So it's better to just calm those nerves just a little bit before you just jump in. The 10-minute cool down, you're just wrapping everything up. Organize your things that you've gotten because, and I will go into this in just a minute, you're going to follow up with these people. So you don't want to, and I cannot tell you how many times we see students with just bulks of folders and papers just walking out of Expo because they haven't taken the time to actually stop between tables and just organize yourself. And understand this, an employer's watching that. So if you're very unorganized when you're at their table or beside their table, or they see you sitting on the floor over here or sitting out in the hallway and you're unorganized, they're going to remember those things. And I'm sure you all read the job description. Does they say well-organized individual? That's not organized, and they're going to remember those things. So just be sure, just to take a little bit of time. Don't rush it. So usually give yourself about 1 to 2 hours. Would you agree with that? What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to be sure to tailor your resumes. We talked about this yesterday about tailoring your resume because you're going to want to tailor it to each company. That can be, for those of you who use an objective, that can be as simple as saying to obtain the blank position with blank. Just as simple as that. That's going to be pretty much all a lot of you can do if you don't have the experience in the field because you don't have any experience to tailor. So that's going to be a little bit all you can do, and also that relevant course section I talked to you about, because you're going to see what positions they offer, and then you're going to think, what knowledge do I have I learned in school that prepares me for this? Those are the relevant courses that you're going to put on your resume. And I think you asked me about that yesterday, about which courses should I put on here. This is going to be right here. Just be sure that you're putting relevant courses. Now, for those of you who have had like a business communications course or something like that, computer classes, those are good classes to put on your resume because you're showing an employer that you've actually received training in business and professional communication in computers and things like that, because all of those skills are very necessary. So you can still leave those types of courses on your resume as well. You always want to bring general resumes just in case, and I know I said yesterday I don't believe in general resumes, but that is, when I say general, just your objective, just to obtain a position utilizing my education and work experience. That's a general objective. You don't want to put the company name, a specific position, because for those of you who have looked at several different positions in your field, this position and this company can call the same position 2 different things. So you don't just want to have one position type on a general resume. You want to be as general as you possibly can. Relevant courses, you want to include as many as you can, but you don't want to have, like 5 lines of relevant courses. You only want to stick with 3 lines maximum. So, but definitely include all your major relevant courses. Okay. Prepare your elevator pitch. We went over this yesterday. This is going to be the best thing for you at a career fair and at a networking event because it's your introduction. When you approach a table and you're speaking to someone at a career fair or a networking event when you're just face to face and you shake their hands, hi, my name is Rosalind Davis, you immediately want to go straight into your elevator pitch. But they may even ask you, okay, tell me a little bit about yourself. And then you want to go straight into it. Okay, does anyone want to practice theirs for us? Just one volunteer? Anybody? Nobody? Come on, just one person for me. Y'all know what to do it? Okay.
I can try.
You want to do it? Okay, thank you.
Do I speak to you or to the audience?
You could, it doesn't matter. You could just say it. He just speaks to him, so.
Good afternoon, Coffee. My name is Franklin. I am an actuarial student at the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee. I am interested in becoming an actuary.
I've had a 3-month internship with an insurance company in Wisconsin, and I work on individual and life insurance products. We use Excel to price life insurance products. And I'm interested in working for your company, looking for an internship. How does that sound like?
There you go. Thank you. Okay. Your elevator pitch was really good. You covered everything. Very short, sweet, and to the point. Did you ask a question at the end? You didn't, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, good. The only piece of advice is just try to throw something, conversation starter in there, okay? Because at the end, they're just going to say, okay, well, we're blah, blah, blah. This is what we do. This is what we're hiring for. And, you know, that's going to engage the conversation. However, sometimes they'll say, okay, well, just give me your resume, and then they're going to move you on to someone else. So that was that whole piece I told you all, throw in something interesting to just start a conversation to kind of hold their attention just a little bit longer. But it was good. You know, for big career fairs, sometimes that's all you're going to be able to tell them is just that, and they're going to take your resume and then they're going to, you know, send you on. But always know you can come back and talk to them. So if they're the people that I said, you know, I really, really, really would like to work for this company, if you go to them, those are usually the ones that have the longest lines at career fairs or even the representatives at networking events. Just know you can go back. So don't try to monopolize their time. You know, you're probably going to get an indication from them that it's time for you to move on. But just know when their lines die down or whatever, you can go back and talk to them and just remind them that you've already given them your resume and you just wanted to come back and get some more information because at that time they were extremely busy. Anybody have any questions on the elevator pitch or anything?
Yeah, in case you don't know the person you're going to talk to, and some people are PhDs, and so how do you address them? You go like doctor, mister, or like?
Well, of course, if you don't know if they have a PhD, EDD, anything like that, you would just Mr. With females, a lot of people try to pay attention to their hands to see if they have a ring on, so they can address them as Mrs. But you can always just be on the side of caution and say Ms. And some people will have it on their name tag. So if they are, they do have a doctorate, it'll say Dr. whoever on there, and then you can address them as such. But if they don't have a name tag on, then Mr., Ms., like that.
You were saying about telling the person something impressive. What do you mean by that? Is it something job related or something outside?
Outside the job, just anything. Like yesterday, I mentioned that one of the conversation starters for me is when I say, it's right after my name. My name is Rosalind Davis. I've been in Atlanta for 5 years, came here from West Virginia. They immediately stopped me right there. You're from West Virginia? Oh my goodness. Did you go to Marshall? Is that the movie? And it's just, that's a conversation. So I haven't even told them anything else about myself. Then they'll say, oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Okay, you can continue. But then I have a student who used to be a professional hockey player. He says it at the very end. Just at the end, he says, I came to pursue my education at Georgia State because I quit as a professional hockey player. That's a conversation starter. So it's kind of like you can do something totally outside of the job. You can say something totally related. What did you used to do? Maybe if you've had an interesting occupation, something like that. You don't have to do it. It's just something I suggest because I've seen a lot of students do it and they've come back saying, oh my gosh, they were so intrigued that I've bungee jumped 5 times or something like that. And the employers actually remember them. Like when they come here to do the interviews, they're like, yeah, that's the student that used to play hockey, or that's the student. So you don't have to do it though. It's just a suggestion.
Can I ask a question on this sheet when we come to it later?
Oh no, go ahead. But yeah, we're not going to go over that. So if you have any questions on the elevator sheet I gave you yesterday, you can ask them.
Okay, so I noticed that there was a part that said, you put strength, the accomplishments, and basically the strength and accomplishments. I don't know, but you meet someone and then you just start, okay, my name is that, my strengths are this, I have accomplished this. I don't know, but
you're proving to them that you know what you're talking about.
So
that's exactly what you're doing. You know how, and I think when I was talking to you yesterday, You kind of get shy when you're talking about those things because you're like, I don't want to brag on myself. That's exactly what you want to do. So when you're talking to them and you tell them that you're trying to pursue a career in actuary, you have to talk about the strengths that you can bring to their organization. Otherwise, how are you going to set yourself apart from him? You all may not have the same strengths. You may both be qualified for the position, but you both have a different set of strengths and weaknesses, and the strengths are what they're going to capitalize on. And I don't know if any of you've paid attention when you're talking to recruiters at career fairs, but they make marks on resumes. I don't know if you've paid attention. And they're usually, you'll never see an X on it because everybody knows what an X means, but it'll be something like a red mark or a blue mark or a green mark or something like that. And it's a language to them. It's like yes and no. So you always just don't be ashamed or shy to talk about your strengths and accomplishments because that's exactly what they want to hear.
And also about strengths, are you talking about things like, oh, I'm focused, I'm determined, oh, I learn fast, like are those the kind of things
you can mention those things, but you want to do something a little more concrete. So for example, one of my strengths is my ability to present to large groups. That is a great strength that a lot of people do not have because they can't get in front of groups and talk without shying away and getting real nervous. So you want to try to come up with something a little more concrete. Like for example, if there is a specific skill that, like for your all's exams right there is a strength. So that, and some students wait to take them. So if you've taken them, you can include that. Some students, believe it or not, really wait to take them till they're completely done with school. So that's a strength. So really you want to do a little bit of research on the actual positions that they're, the skill sets and strengths that are needed for your field. And then that's what you're going to insert in there. But you can put the things like self-determined, focus things, but those are what we were talking about in the summary of qualifications. I said leave those out. You want to kind of leave those out of there as well. Okay. Anybody else? Uh-huh.
When you have an experience like previous internship, like I described it like behavioral education, do you need to tell what you did during the internship?
No, you can maybe say a little bit. You can say, I have, a little experience in the field of actuarial science through my internship at blah, 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 where I blah, blah, blah. If they want more information, they're going to probe you. They're going to start saying, okay, so you did that. Did you do this? Explain to me this. Because they're going to scan your resume right in front of your face. And they may ask you questions off of your resume because many of them use that as a screening. As just a simple screening process, yes, no piles. Maybe, maybe. Okay. Anybody else? All right. Okay. So, for final tips on a career fair, you want to ask an open-ended question about the company or position. Again, please do not ask, what does your company do? That's no. You can ask something like, how soon are you looking to fill the positions that are listed on your website or the positions that you have posted, something like that. You can ask something about what type of community service does your organization do, because a lot, for example, Turner, they give their employees 40 hours a year to do to do community service. That's something that a lot of people don't know. So right there, for those of you who are interested in Turner, that go to Georgia State and are going to the expo to talk to them, there's something that you know now that a lot of students don't know. They give their employees time off to focus on community service. A lot of companies don't do that. So just bring up something interesting and ask them about something interesting or even about their job. What exactly do you do? I see you're a recruiter. However, I know some companies actually don't send HR reps. They could be working in the position that you want to get into. So you can just ask them questions like that. Ask for their contact information so that you may follow up. This is very important. If any career fair you attend is anything like Expo, you're competing with 8,500 other people. So you want to be sure that you have some type of contact information for these people so that you can follow up. They probably will run out of business cards, so make sure to take, a notepad, a pen, something like that, so that you can write down their information if need be. One piece of advice, this is another thing about when I always keep saying setting yourself apart, talking about something interesting, that's how they're going to remember you. How I said, I'm from West Virginia. So when I email to follow up, hi, I met you at the Career Expo. I'm the young lady from West Virginia. They're going to remember that. But if I just say, you know, I'm the young lady looking to work as a career counselor for your organization, they probably talk to 50 other people like that. So that's where that whole interesting thing comes in, because you're going to remind them of the conversation. And as a former recruiter, those are things that we remember. We know everyone has a business degree. We know that everyone, you know, was on the dean's list. You know, most people on the dean's list got scholarships. Those things we don't remember because we hear them over and over. It's the things that stick out that you're going to remember. So just remember that. You want to thank them for their time, shake their hand, and move on. Back to the follow-up. When you follow up with them, you want to follow up within 24 to 48 hours. Now, sometimes the career fairs at different schools will be back to back to back. So they may not be in the office for a week. They'll tell you that. They'll say, well, here's my business card, but I probably won't be back in the office for about a week. Make note of that. Don't send that follow-up until they get back to the office, and mention that in the email. You know, good afternoon, Ms. Davis. I am sending this email as a follow-up to our conversation at the Career Expo on September the 20th. I remember you said you would not be back in the office until today, so I wanted to send this today to make sure you got it. Because if not, your email is going to get piled in with every other email that they get from outside and inside the organization. So you want to, you know, make note of the things that they're saying to you, so that when you send the email, you're sure that they're going to get it.
If you have their contact information, is it better like to separate yourself by not just sending an email, but sending a written note saying, I appreciate, you know, the time that, you know, we had or discussed or whatever, is because that'll take more than 24 hours. So
that's a good idea. Yes, it is a good idea, and the reason for that is because nobody gets mail anymore. And when I come in my office and a student has slid a note under my door, I get so excited, because I'm like, it's not an email, and somebody's taken the time to actually write a thank you letter to me. And all of them are hanging on my bulletin board in my office, because we never get it anymore. So doing a mail, you're exactly right. You are setting yourself apart, because we don't get mail. So if they come in and they're like, oh, you have a letter, you get excited. Because, I mean, I'm sure you all probably get excited when you look in the mailbox and it's something, and it's not a bill, it's not junk mail, it's not coupons, it's something else, right?
What if your penmanship isn't that good? Should you try to stay away from that?
Have someone write it for you. Yeah, have someone write. It's okay. Just they don't. I mean, it's okay. I want to be able to read it. So if you have, you know, someone else to write it for you, and you, but make sure you sign it. But just have someone else to write it for you. That's fine. Or type it and sign it. But make sure that you actually sign it with a pen. That's okay. That's all right too. Also, one thing about mailing, like you said, it's going to take more than 24 hours. Also, be aware of security measures with mail. You know, we all know the whole anthrax thing. They still go through mail for that. Turner, if you mail a thank you letter to Turner, it sits at their location for 5 days before the person actually gets it, because they have to go through, they open it and have to go through the Coca-Cola company, same way. So just know, if it's a really big organization, you want to do it the day of. Go ahead, drop it in the mail. So then, but also send an email to them, you know, the follow-up email, and also say, you know, I also dropped a thank you note, in a thank you letter in the, or follow-up, whatever you want to call it, in the mail to you as well. Okay. Be sure that you're properly dressed, and this is business attire. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about dress, but you always just want to be sure to look your best. For women, that does mean a suit. Whether it's pants or a skirt, but you just want to be sure, because that is the best way to be remembered in a bad way, is if you're dressed badly. They will remember that. And I know that may, well, but it's the truth. You'll be remembered by everybody if you're dressed badly at a networking event or at a career fair. You know, so just be sure that you know, you're definitely dressed. And some employers will tell you, the ones that recruit with us, they'll tell students, your skirt's a little too short, or your pants are a little too short, or you shouldn't be walking on the bottom of your suit pants. You know, it's very unprofessional. We tell them to tell students, because students don't believe us. They think we get paid to tell them. So we tell them, you know, if you would like to give a student some feedback, please do. so that because you all have to know these things, because, you know, prior to me enrolling in a business school, I had no idea what I was supposed to look like when I went to an interview. And, you know, I'm very thankful that people that came to interview us, do mock interviews and things with us, were able to give us that feedback, because that's how I learned to do it. So, you know, just be sure to be, you know, dressed properly. Anybody have any questions?
I do.
Okay.
I know now, like, some women are wearing professional dresses. How do you feel about, like...
You can wear professional dress, just be sure about fit. That's the only thing. With, you know, pencil skirts coming back in, and, you know, A-line dresses and things like that, they are perfectly okay to wear. But you know how when you walk and they start riding up and you're walking and you're pulling it down, things like that, you want to be careful with that. The dress I had on yesterday, I don't know if you remember, that would be okay to wear, just, it's actually a tank top, so you want to stay away from that. But if it's like a, you know, a dressier dress, that would be okay to wear. But you just want to be sure that if it is a dress, that it's not super tight on you, and that, you know, when you sit down it doesn't ride up, when you walk it doesn't ride up, if you have a split in the back, that it doesn't ride up as well. But it's okay.
I know you don't want to get into the detail, but I have a question. What do you mean by business attire for men?
A suit and tie. You all have it perfect. You all have it so easy. A suit and tie. Yeah. And just be sure your socks are not white. We see that a lot. We see that a lot. We do. We see it a lot. And just be sure, you know, just with your suit, you know, that it's not hanging over your hands and things like that. You know, that's a really, you know, nice tailored suit. Your shirt, you want to be sure to, it's like a modest color. You don't want any bright, loud type color. Same thing with the tie, you know, real conservative pattern, things like that. And that's pretty much it. You know, also you definitely want to try to stay away from like colognes and perfumes, because you don't know people's allergies, and you don't want to walk up to a recruiter and they have an allergy attack because they're allergic to whatever you have on. Jewelry, men, take it out. Not to say that I have no problem with it, but if it's a conservative organization, they are going to have a problem with it. Just take it out to err on the side of caution, and then once you get the job, you know, you can ask people, you know, can I put my earring back in, you know, or whatever. You know, just let them, you know, let them tell you it's okay. Ladies, tone your jewelry down. You know, it's okay to wear it. You know, just wear, you know, your earrings no bigger than a quarter, one ring per hand, a watch, a bracelet, you know, things like that. You know, we get carried away with jewelry. We love it. So, you know, just be careful with it. Hair, you want to be sure to pull it off your face, because you want them to see your face for no other reason other than you want them to see your face. You don't want them to be, you know, distracted by earrings, hair, jewelry, anything like that. So, anything else? Okay, no more questions, because this is the end. You don't have any more questions? Okay, I think it's the end. Oh, that's the end. No more questions, y'all sure?
Can you email this to us?
Yeah, I can email it to you. I gave you the sheets, but I can email yesterday's and today to you. I have no problem with that.
I was in career fair before, and I was advised to, like, it's like 3 rounds. The first round you just walk around, like, just survey who's there. Then the second round you like talk to people, and then the third round you may like go back to someone else that really interests you. Do you?
That's a good idea. That's when I mentioned the warm up and cool down type thing. That's exactly what that is. You definitely want to walk around and see who's there, see what, you know, see what's what before you just immediately jump in. And then you said the third round is like, okay, if I have time, I'll go talk to these people. That's perfect. That's exactly the way that you want to plan going to a career fair. And you, like I said, give yourself about 2 hours, because you don't want to rush, because they're going to know that you're rushed. If you say your elevator pitch and you're going 10 miles an hour, you know, you want to definitely just have a conversation. And that's something else that I didn't mention about the elevator speech. Be sure not to sound robotic when you're saying it. Like when you were saying yours, you were very conversational, and that's perfect. You want it to be rehearsed because you don't want to forget it. And like you said, the first time you did yours, you're like, and you don't want to do that. So you definitely want to, you know, be able to just, you want it to come off just naturally, but you want to have a conversation. You don't want to sound robotic, because they'll be like, okay, did they even really know what they were saying, or have they said it so many times that it's just like, okay, my name is Rosalind Davis type of thing. So, anyhow. Okay, well, I'd like to thank you all very much, and I will email everyone the slides. Again, like I said, for the resumes, I'll get those back to you probably on Thursday. Will be when I'll be able to, for those of you who emailed them to me, to be able to give you some feedback on that. My contact information is in the folders that I gave you yesterday. I am on LinkedIn, I am on Twitter, and our office is on Facebook, so you know I'm available. And for UGSU students, you know where I am. So, so if anybody doesn't have any more questions, thank you all.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you can definitely give out business cards. Just be careful, like this is like your quote unquote work business card. Be careful with that. If you want to do, if you do anything, I would create a student business card, still with the same information, but take that, you know, you put like BBA, your finances, actuarial science, right? BBA, actuarial science, finance, something like that. Hello. Okay. I don't get them. They all go to our actual job board, and that's protected behind a student email address and password. But in the event that we do get, even I wouldn't, you know, I can definitely forward those, but we normally don't get them. They actually go to my supervisor, who immediately posts them on the thing. But yeah, I can keep you in mind. Okay. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah. Thank you.
If I could just add it on then.
I will take one. My should work.
Very good. Thank you so much.